Hello, this is Josh Welch. We've been hearing a lot about Omicron. I'd like to spend a few minutes to tell its story. Let's start the story at the beginning, then jump to current United Kingdom and New York information, tie their situation to Oregon, then look to the future based on OHSU modeling done by Peter Gravin. This is the original chart that described COVID to us, delay and reduce the peak and spread the cases over time. We've been amazingly successful, though it has taken a while. In the lower right, it shows the end game is the same as it was in the early days. It's over when everyone has had it, has had the vaccination, or a lot of luck. And we've had some luck, but not too much. Where are we now? The UK is currently experiencing the highest rate ever seen in a first world nation for COVID with Omicron. New York and the US are now at levels far greater than 5 months ago in September from Delta. Let's look at the numbers. This chart shows the cases per day normalized by 100,000 people, so different countries can be easily compared. The blue line is the US average of daily cases. Also shown are the countries with a population over 50 million. Let's highlight the UK's experience, shown in orange. This is a very busy chart. What are the takeaways? I'd like to point out 3 key points. The peak last winter in January, February at 75 to 90 cases per 100,000 residents. The current UK caseload at 250 and the US at 225. Let's focus on the blue US line. As the chart has changed, the blue US line is still shown, though the other lines are now the individual states within our country. You can see that there is a tremendous amount of variability of COVID across the United States. Let's highlight New York and Oregon. New York is shown in green, and Oregon is shown in orange. New York is at about 400 cases per 100,000 people, 4 times the level of last winter. Oregon is thankfully less at about 175, though far above last winter still. Why is Oregon less? Let's look at our state. Oregon has a lot of people wearing masks, unlike most of the rest of the country. And the population density is less than Metro New York and the UK. And we have a pretty good vaccination rate. There needs to be some acknowledgement of fear playing a part in this. 2, how far will we stay apart? And the pandemic has been very humbling. There needs to be an acknowledgement of many unknowns. We are at the edge of medical science about the virus and about human immune systems. And Oregon has had some luck. With Omicron, it's expected most will have cold or a mild flu if they notice they have the virus at all. This is what medical science and billions of dollars have given us. We've gone from serious questions like, will I die? To having many medications to treat COVID. As Dr. Fauci has recently said, Omicron is likely to be about, can our hospitals handle the expected number of patients? So let's look at Oregon's hospital capacity. This chart, elements of OHSU, shows Oregon's hospital capacity is about 5,000 hospital beds. This chart is by week over the last 2 years. The orange is the percent of COVID patients. The blue is everyone else, car accidents, heart attacks, etc. The gray on top is the excess capacity. With Oregon's relatively low COVID rate, our hospitals have been pushed, but not as much as in most states. You can see back in December, January, the COVID bubble here in orange, and then the big bubble here in September with the Delta peak. How is Omicron likely to portray within this chart. Let's pivot to the future and show OHSU's COVID modeling for the future. This is Peter Gravin's work at OHSU. They currently are expecting about 1,600 patients with COVID, which is considerably different based on the fear factor from early modeling of almost 3,000 people. So that's good then. Still a lot of people. And it should peak in early to mid-February. I think it's important to note, no one's modeling on COVID has been accurate anywhere on the planet, but we all still try. Let's put this chart and the prior chart together, and we get this in comparison. Yes, it's likely we'll have several months of many people in the hospital, with it peaking in early February. Back in the Delta peak in September, about 23% of patients in the hospital had Delta at the time. And if the 1,600 patients comes true in early February, will it result in a bit more at 23%. This is 32% of the beds. So, in summary, Omicron is likely to cause a quick high spike in COVID cases, then fade like Delta. In Oregon, early February. It's a very complex situation, and no one anywhere has accurately predicted the outbreak since day one. Dr. Fauci is humble for a reason. Though it's highly unlikely we'll have a shutdown. No G7 nation can afford the spending. So hospitals will be full. People with vaccinations likely mildly sick. People without vaccinations likely to have a difficult time. In fact, 1 in 100 American seniors have already died from COVID. Thank you for watching my video. I hope you found it helpful. Here is a list of some of my sources for this presentation. Take care.